Southport, stayed with them for 5 years. An opportunity came for me to buy my client piece out and start again. So that's how my journey started. Obviously, it was like, do I really want to be in a business for myself? I wasn't sure. Sometimes things happen for a reason in life and you enjoy it more and more as you start to get settled down and you think, yep, that's what it is. So we are a team of 5 people in the office, based in Miami in the business center. I haven't got a fully fledged, like a proper office or anything, which is mine. It's just 2 rooms in there with meeting rooms and everything. I see my clients in the office, or I go out with the clients quite regularly. For me, I've got clients all over Australia. So I used to travel once a year. I'll start from a trip from here to Sydney to Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, Darwin, and then back. It would take me 7 or 8 days, one night in each place. And obviously since the COVID has started, it's just come to a stop. It's all Zoom. I'll give you my tip, how I think when I meet clients. It's more about what can I give to them that will be important for them or help them out. It's not about what can I get out of them that can be a new client for me. For me, it's fine. At the end of the day, it's about giving one little thing out, because at the end of the day, it's all a big community, big country. If you can put something back into it, it'll come back to you one day. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's a good feeling that you're given something a little bit more than what they came with, or give them some hope, or give them a little tip. That's all you can do. Now, obviously, that's the logo. We started off with a few different logos. The reason being we use the word "my" is because obviously for us it's all about us, how we can help our clients all the time, and we take the responsibility. It's not about shifting responsibility on anyone else. Now, before I start with a little bit of accounting and boring things, I'll tell you something what I love to do, and I haven't done it for nearly a year or so, and obviously COVID put a stop to it. I love cycling and doing charity rides, and Mara Foundation has been my key charity that I've raised money for. This was my last ride in 2019, so we started in Townsville and finished in Brisbane. Over 8 days, on an average, each day was closer to 180 to 220 Ks riding as a group of 35, 38 people with the support vehicles at the front, at the back. So there's food safety, everything is looked after. We don't have to worry about our food. We pay for our whole trip, and plus we raise money for the Mara Foundation, which does research in cancer. Yes, there are a lot of others do it, but obviously this one came closer to me and it's closer to my heart because of the family issues as well. So that's the professor who is the main research person. What this journey taught me was sometimes you can't step in someone else's shoes, the person who's going through a cancer treatment. And every day we used to ride and we used to be in pain, and we did not know what's next. We know what's next day ahead, but you can't really see ahead because you don't know, you got hills, you got wind, you got rain, and I can tell you the worst part of it is your bottom is hurting. But the day 7 and day 8, it is the pain that you got to get your mind through it, and you got to think through it and say, what am I here for? What am I trying to achieve? What is my purpose for this journey that I'm doing for 8 or 9 days? Your legs are hurting, yeah, but obviously there's more to that, because your mind is to really think, how do you control it and how do you make it think, look into it in a positive way. Okay, I'm here for a reason, I need to do it. And I can tell you, over the 8 days, what I'm proud of myself was that not even one day that I sat in a courtesy van or a truck wherever I wasn't able to do it. I just had the mindset. I used to think only this much in the ride. Okay, let's do the 20 and see how I'm feeling. And then the next 20. It's a 200 thing. Once you get to the 100, that's when you start to see now it's downhill for another 100. That's not a problem. Obviously, you guys are thinking you're mad. I never used to think I'm mad. I used to think you got to take one small step at a time and just focus on that, and then another one. You can't really say what I'm going to do in 6 months' time. Yes, that's the goal at the end, but to get to there, you need to break it into smaller pieces. When you break the goal into smaller pieces, you can achieve it. Doesn't matter what. Otherwise, it's a big thing. Just a little bit of boring accounting things. What we do. It's a team of 5 people. So we're not a team because we work together, because we respect each other. And my team, we have all been together for 17 or 18 years. And 2 of us were accountants, My wife, she looks after the admin. The gentleman, Alan, he came on board because he was in a motor dealership with a big group in Melbourne and in Townsville, and with the COVID and everything, things slowed down. And so obviously I'm training him to become a tax accountant now. So success is where preparation and opportunity meets. At the end of the day, to be successful, we got to prepare regularly and think about it. That is what I believe in. So we do all these little things apart from just the basic tax work, which is part and parcel of life. It's all about talking to people about, is there enough cash flow in the business? What do we need to do? What do we need to watch? Estate taxation. I'll come across so many times where people forget. I know it's hard when someone passes away in the family, but obviously if someone has got assets, property, principal residences and things like that, certain things need to be dealt in a certain amount of time. And if you leave that things, the tax consequences becomes bigger and no one wants to take care of it. So that's quite a regular thing we do. When I meet someone for the first time, a business person, obviously I like to go through a few basics. It's about, because at the end of the day, if you're all running a business, you need to make sure it's all tick, 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 tick. Otherwise, if something goes wrong once, it's very hard to fix it. You always have penalties. And then what we have to go through the client for half an hour at least. People always start the business saying, oh, I'm just going to start it off as a sole trader, but then you're going to really think, what are you growing the business to? Do you want to employ staff? You're going to start thinking in a bigger picture. From the beginning, you just can't go with the thing, oh yeah, it's a small business, yeah, whatever, it's kind of thing. So obviously, yes, it's the cost in the beginning, but on the long term, you really got to think about what's right for the whole thing. Where do you want to see yourself? You're going to start a business, where do you want to be tomorrow? You're going to start thinking a little bit bigger picture. Don't undermine yourself. And the very important thing for me is at the moment, and I'm pushing each and every client at the moment, is do you need to have a will and an EPOA? Because so many times we come across someone has passed away and they don't have a will. As Clinton would say, how hard is it to leave the money to the public trustees to take care of it? I can tell you that's the worst thing I've heard. You can just give your money away to the government kind of thing. So obviously when your parents have even got just a property only, it's worth something. They may not have much cash, but do you want to lose that? So obviously that's something very, very important after that. So this is just a small example, a referral from here, no names mentioned. It's about a company and the loans from the company. People take the money out, and it's more about correcting it and working towards it. There's a few things that we love to do, because at the end of the day, I was dubbed into the tax office 3 years ago where the client said to the tax man, oh, my accountant never told me. So obviously, the tax office called me up. He says, we know that you guys always tell, but do you guys have anything in writing and whatever? I said, yeah, we got notes in writing and we put it straight away. And I was able to present to the tax office. And obviously the client is no longer with me, but obviously it's few things we just tend to have very regularly, especially when it's a company. You're running a business through a company, it's very important that DIP 7A is something when you take the money from the company accounts and the tax office don't like it. It's like you've got a tax-free money, who's going to pay the tax on that?
Can I just say, I'm that example. That was me. So my accountant, 17 years he'd been my accountant, lovely, lovely man, but he got very sick over the last few years, and the way that we were doing my books wasn't quite the way it was supposed to happen. And my bookkeeper brought it to my attention, and then we worked out that I was going to have roughly a $20,000 tax bill. I decided to get a second opinion from Isht, and thankfully my tax bill has gone down from, I think it was 22,000 to around 10. So yeah, very, very grateful and happy. Thank you.
Because Isht got referred to you from AJ, who's uses it. Yeah, that's good.
And that was another referral up here for one other client. They were behind on the basis. They had a zero set up, but it wasn't feeding through. Nothing was happening in there. So as soon as, especially when clients approach me in the month of July, that is one of the things where you really got to see is you got last 12 months. If you don't pick it up straight away and tidy things up, because once it passes 28th of July, you can't correct a lot of things, because the biggest thing is the superannuation. And I harp on to my clients every quarter on time, make sure you pay your superannuation on time, because if the superannuation is late and if you get caught with the tax office once, it's a nightmare. They want to basically open the can of worms and just go back and back and back, and you don't really want that. So obviously this was a small thing, just bringing the bass and everything up to date, and it's all good now. So who do I deal with? Doctors, small businesses, restaurants, retirees, everyone. So there's not that I don't deal with anyone. So for us in Ardent Khan, it's a small business, for someone who wants to discuss these things, and we give people an upfront package and say this is what we're going to charge you for to look after you for your tax and accounting, and you can pay us off over a period of now, because it's the month of September, so the 10 months in the financial year, so you can pay us on a direct debit over a period of 10 months. That means you don't have to come up with an amount at the end, or I'm not going to give you a surprise. So I give people a price upfront, and if something comes along the way, few extra meetings, that's part and parcel of life. Yes, if someone wants a new business entity set up, those are extras, because obviously it's a cost to me at the end of the day, and I have to pass the cost on. Otherwise, the compliance is all part and parcel of the thing. So we give a quote upfront, so no one knows. There's no surprises at the end of the day.
So you say you're going to fix price service, is that right? Awesome.
So obviously what I do is, if a client says to me, I can't give you, say, oh, yours is going to be this much just upfront. Obviously I look at the balance sheet, profit and loss, and say, okay, how much time do we need to put in, how many other people in the family we need to look at, is there properties, other investments. So we work a price out, so we got numbers there to put together, how much time it's going to take, so that'll be the price. That includes any questions you may have throughout the year. So we don't charge for those extras really.
And that's awesome, because the last thing you want is at the end of the year, you get a bill and you
So the main thing is, obviously COVID has changed a lot, and obviously we have reinvented our way of doing things. It's more about setting goals and objectives and keep on planning regularly. And I think I've gained a lot out of this networking group. I've learned a lot out of it, and a lot of people have given me businesses, and thanks to Marion, thanks to Anita and a few other people, and thanks Patrick as well, he's a client of mine. And I think there's a few other members up here as well that I look after, and I enjoy coming here every Thursday. For me, it's just part and parcel of my habit. Thursday morning is here. I sometimes go for a bike ride on Thursday morning when a friend of mine asks me, I normally says, yep, we can go at 4:45, so I'm back home by 5:45, I have a quick shower, I can be here. It's just part and parcel of it. Thank you.